that's not really a joke this year. I mean, the way that they've gone so far, they could put a 543, 544, 545 and probably run it if they wanted to.
Well, that thing has been so deadly consistent. It's been a long time since we've seen an alcohol funny car this consistent at an event.
Well, and I did get a chance to catch up with Aryan Rochon up at the top end of the racetrack after that semifinal round. Asked him a little bit about the trip out here and if he wants to come out and race on the West Coast a little bit more. He said, I would. The drive's a little long. He goes, to tell you the truth, we actually came out here just to do a little bit of testing to get warmed up before the Gator Nationals and decided that, hey, we might as well stick around here and race. So far, that's proven to be a really good decision.
Well, you know, when you get a career best, which is always good, and you go to the final round, you know, your first final round at a national event, yeah, good choice, Aaron.
You know, you could just kind of park the rig out here. They've got these airplanes that you could fly in here and do a little more racing.
Well, you could certainly do that. That's for sure. He might like to stay on the West Coast and not race those East Coast bad boys.
He may like to. So it's Aryan Rochon, as we mentioned, all the way out of Dade City, Florida, here on the right side. Had a bye run into the final round. So those guys have had a little extra time to get back there, get things figured out. And Doug Gordon in that brand new Beta Motorcycles sponsored ride. And that very first, we talked about it, Johnny Lindbergh chassis, that thing is paying off big time for Doug Gordon and the team. We'll see if they can cash it into a trophy or if Aryan Rochon is going to have himself a seatmate on that long drive back to Florida in the form of a little something called a Wally.
The little gold Wally.
So Aryan Rochon, first one to find the pre-stage bulbs. Doug Gordon's in as well. Drivers talk to each other with the throttle. Doug Gordon's car gives up, and Aryan Rochon is going home with the Wally. 575 at 214 miles an hour. Look at the celebration down there. They're dancing now down to the concrete. Wow. Wow. I would not have seen that one coming, and Dennis especially, even after some of the early numbers. Watch this one more time on the instant replay. Doug Gordon's early numbers were there. At the 3:30, he was out front. Aryan Rochon gives it a ride, and look at Aryan Rochon bouncing over there on the side. By that time, Doug Gordon's car had been silent, and Dennis, we're still kind of picking the jaw up off the table up here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got to put a Band-Aid on my jaw. Oh, my gosh, what a final round. 0.52 for Doug Gordon, 0.51 for Aryan Rochon. They left as one. Doug's car was making it down through there like we've seen every run this weekend. 247 to the 330, and hey, Aryan Rochon, 249. That's his quickest to 330 at that point. Aryan Rochon probably couldn't believe he didn't see that red car drive by.
Oh my goodness, look at him.
I'll tell you what, that's why we run him on. We don't run him on paper. Aryan Rochon, congratulations. Picks up his first Wally at the Winter Nationals.
Wow, you can see Aryan Rochon up there on the Sunoco Vision popping out of the car. It's obvious at this point in time, even without being able to see the rest of his face, that there is a smile about a mile wide on that young man's face. Wow.
Wow, what a race. Obviously, something gave up on the Gordon car. That thing was trucking right down through there, and you saw the pipes go wet before you saw the throttle close on the replay. Really tough break, but I'll tell you what, Gordon's and Johnny Lindbergh have nothing to put their head down about.
No, not at all. There you can see him up there with Amanda Busick. They're going to get that interview in for the Fox Sportsman Show that'll be coming up a little bit later on. We've got trucks down on the racetrack, and we've got a lot of red lights. Yes, absolutely, George. We would love to see the isolation shot on Doug Gordon's car. Dennis, stick around. Watch this one more time. Here we go. So you can see the car leaving. The butterflies are fully open here. And, Dennis, tell us what you see.
That thing was just making it, and it just something looks like it gave up. Doug just didn't shut that car off. Trust me. Doug's not that kind of driver. Oh, it was just heartbreaking after the weekend that they've had. But I tell you what, Beta Motorcycles, you couldn't have picked a finer team to show off your product.
Certainly the case there, Doug Gordon. And it's exactly like what you said, Dennis. You saw the pipes start to go wet just before those butterflies closed. And obviously they'll go back, figure out what it was, and they'll be ready to go for the next one.
Just heartbreaking. But congratulations, Aryan Rochon. That long trip sure paid off.
Absolutely. And you, like we said, you are going to have a seatmate on the trip back to Florida, and the name is Wally.
And if you'd have told me earlier in the weekend that a 575 would win this race, I'd have told you were absolutely nuts. Lock you up.
And I would have been absolutely nuts to say that. But turns out that was the case. So, again, thank you very much, Dennis Taylor, for your added commentary here in the Alcohol Funny Car Ranks. It's always a pleasure when you come up and share time with us in the booth.
Well, thanks for having me again this weekend, you guys. It's been a pleasure. You know how the passion I have for that class.
Yes, sir. So we've got just a couple of minutes here.